Me, after school, I first did like an exchange year.
Because in Switzerland it's mandatory to go to the army after school once you turn 18. Then I broke my knee, so I had to get out of military again, and I quickly soon started working.
现今工作思维逐渐跳脱传统，到底毕业后的职涯怎么做最好？来听听外国人的想法吧。
After you graduate, did you start working right away or decide to explore life first?
Well, I actually went and, explore life a bit first. I went and studied jazz for a year.
Let times explore. Do you think did they have any effect to your career now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it, showed me that there's a lot of other kind of paths you can take. And I mean, at the moment now, I'm taking another break from studies. I'm working as a ski instructor. And I guess, a lot of experiences that I have while not formally studying is actually, probably going to be really helpful, I think, in my life.
Nice.
去读语言学校之类的。
我真的觉得国外学的环境效果上还是差。那如果之后直接工作，就会比较没有时间去像语言学校这种，或是打工度假这种。
To be honest, I decided to work to earn more money for my family.
They're working right away. I guess in the US, it's kind of expected that you just go straight into either school or work. I think work is expected.
Don't you have ever regret?
Oh, absolutely. In our society, we don't really explore the world enough. When you're kind of forced to make a decision at 18 years old to go to school, you don't really know exactly who you are or what you want to do. You don't have the same perspective, I think, that other countries get.
I started working right away. I wanted to do gap year, but for that time I didn't have enough money to do.
I'm a baby, I have no money.
Why do you think gap year is an important thing to graduation people?
I think it's important because you learn about the different cultures and also about yourself.
Me, after school, I first did like an exchange year.
Because in Switzerland it's mandatory to go to the army after school once you turn 18. Then I broke my knee, so I had to get out of military again, and I quickly soon started working, so I didn't really have a gap year there.
It's real bad.
I think gap years are generally a good idea, and if I had to doing one abroad where you also learn a different language, makes total sense and is something I would have done probably.
What did your parents think about your abroad experience?
My parents were very, they support me, because my dad also did kind of the same. So when I came with that idea, he was like, yes, yes, yes. At the very end, you work your whole lifetime. When you're younger, to explore a bit more than when you're in an older age,
You're so right. Do you guys think it's better to start working early and save money to stable, or take time to explore while you're still young?
If you're financially stable because of your family, of course you can start in a younger age. But if not, I think to another country and work there. Maybe do exchange year with work, then you have both kind of. But I do recommend to do that, to explore a bit the world before getting too serious in the work.
那你们觉得你们在进入职场的时候，在这个世代会容易遇到什么职场焦虑？
主要还是跟主管互动吧，需要一点时间互相理解。那会有我理解跟不理解的地方。可是在我做这件事情之前，我可能会觉得我的情绪会觉得很不能理解。但像这种东西就是需要时间去反刍它。
So I think the pressure is on, which is normal because you don't have the experience, you're coming off very fresh off school. But then also I've experienced that older peers might actually really value your younger perspective on certain things. If you work in a work environment where social media, for example, is important, or where just the internet in general plays a big role if you're young. So it's not always negative to be the young one, the new one. It's also bringing in new perspectives, and that's also valuable.
Super proud of you guys.
In Taiwan, a lot of people believe you should have stable life by you're 30. But if you're still doing part-time job at the age, you're falling behind. So do people in your country think that way too?
Well, yes, to a degree. I don't think you have to have everything figured out in the UK, but you should. I think if you had a part-time job when you get to 30, yeah, people would find it strange and unsuccessful.
You get nothing. You lose.
My parents would say, why don't you just work more? You have all that time, you should be working. Yeah, definitely.
我觉得不完全。如果今天我真的到了30岁，我都还不确定自己不讨厌的东西是什么，所以你用兼职的方式一直在尝试，我觉得这没有什么不对。
In Taiwan, a lot of people believe you should have stable life by 30. But if you're still doing part-time job at the age, you're falling behind people. So do people in your country like same opinion?
I think so, but I think like with social media kind of pushing more visibility of travel or other lifestyles even, I think it's kind of shifting.
If you had a chance to do it over again, would you make the same decision?
No, I would definitely do that gap year. Even if I didn't full-time travel in that gap year, I would definitely just explore all the options that are out there, because I think even traveling now that I'm older, you just get the new perspectives that I think would transition your time after college even into a better space for yourself.
Which you think is most important, the experience of life or your career?
I think there's a balance. I think those experiences can give you a more fruitful career if you choose the right one.
If you had a chance to do it over again, would you make the same decision in your life?
Yeah, like I think life is all about memories, and I always look back on those times and be very grateful for it.
I thank God that I'm alive.
Recommend today's young people to jump through into the work or explore themselves.
It's like I cannot decide everyone's life in a sense, right? But I can say that if you look at it at 24 hours, this is how much time you spend here, this is how much time you spend here. You must always invest and find time to recharge yourself, to find time for yourself, to feel connected to people, and also have fun at work, right? So yeah, and then you just separate your 24 hours how you want.